All right, in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about personal empowerment, was what I was looking at here. So that we have to learn to trust ourselves, that we all have something to offer the world, even if we don't believe that we do. And we have to learn how to trust ourselves and speak from our own experiences, speak from the heart, speak from our own journey. Um, let's see. And kind of like just have that will to take the next step. Like no matter how big or how small it is, just try to do something little every day. I saw a thing today about Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about how he would ask his basketball girls if they got 1% better today, and if they didn't, and they said no, then they would have to work. That he'd tell them you have to work harder tomorrow. So I thought that was pretty cool because that is the thing of doing it every day is did I get a little bit better today? And I mean, some days you're going to get 10%, 20%, whatever percent better. But as long as you're getting a little bit better, that's all that matters because if you don't even attempt to get better, then you won't. Then you won't. And if you say, hey, I don't know how I'm going to get that much better, and you focus on trying to get 20% better, 100% better, like something so big that you don't even try because you can't see, all you see is the mountain, and you're like, how do I get there? And you got to take it one step at a time. You got to climb the mountain. You know, we ain't Superman, we can't jump to the top. But anyway, so that next step, sometimes you just got to take it even when you're scared. So, and then even if you get 1% better every day, well then that's by the end of the year that's 365%. So I mean you're going to see results in the end, but sometimes you just don't see results in the present. So don't get discouraged. So that kind of leads me into the next thing that Jim Rohn said, like, you know, when a ship sets out to sail on its journey, it just knows where it's going. It can't see the destination, but it has faith that if it goes in that direction, that it'll eventually reach that destination, even though it can't see it right all the time. So you have to be willing to take that next step because that it will all add up to you finally getting to where you want to go. But if you're like, oh, I can't see the end of the journey or the destination that I want to go to, so well, I'm not going to do anything to even do that. But if you just take the next step, then eventually you're going to get to that destination. So I thought that was kind of cool too. So so yeah. But and also I was talking about like with personal empowerment is when you stop reacting and start responding. Because when we react, we it usually comes from the ego. So, and like the ego always, like some of the traits of the ego are like blame, judgment, shame, survival, guilt, comparing, fear, doubt, criticizing, lack, paranoid, negative Nancy, darkness. So that's when you just react to a scenario without taking that moment to pause and think about it, or even calm or slow down and try to respond. And when you respond, you start to focus on more of the higher self, which is more of a state of growth, expansion, learning, faith, curiosity, responsible, trust, energetic, free, certainty, love, light, opportunities, magic. So basically, and like I remember Eckhart Tolle used to always say, uh, if you're on a call or someone's upsetting you or whatever, just take a minute, take a couple deep, close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and that'll kind of slow down that reactive response. And then you respond. And then, and again, the changes aren't going to happen overnight. It takes time and it takes practice and it takes awareness to do these things. But if you're not aware of even trying to learn how to respond instead of react, then you're not going to do it. So the first thing is to become aware of that and to remember in those situations. And if you do end up reacting, that's okay too. We're human beings, man. We're not perfect. we need to learn and try to be better. We have perfect moments, but then, they don't always last, or we probably wouldn't be human. We'd be in a different dimension or something. We'd be pure spirit, and we're not. We're, like I've heard a lot of people say it, we're a spirit with a body, not a body with a spirit. So we are the spiritual essence that's inside of us. And when we can like learn how to use it to and connect with it, then we can actually slow down and be better and learn how to respond in situations where sometimes you just go off the handle and with triggers and everything. So again, we're not perfect. I still react from time to time too. I just don't react. I used to react all the time. I didn't even know what responding was until I learned about this stuff. Because at the Chopra Center, they'd always teach us the reactive response and the learning how to respond from within instead of reacting. So I don't remember all the details of it, but I just remember that was kind of what started me to at least try to attempt to do these things. And then all the other stuff I learned with Eckhart Tolle and all them helped me like develop the pattern more. Because there's always going nothing you cannot control what other people do. You cannot control customers, you cannot control the people around you. I mean, you could try and you can make an attempt, but in the end of the day, they're going to respond in their own way or react in their own way too. So the only thing you have control over is how you respond to the scenarios around you. So yeah, so I guess you get the choice of, do you want to respond from the ego, which is more of a reaction, or do you want to respond from the higher self, which is more of peace, love, and just realizing that we're all human beings. Sometimes we're gonna do dumb stuff. Sometimes we're gonna be mean. Sometimes we're gonna be having a bad day and we're gonna act in a bad way, or we're gonna snap at you, or whatever. You got to take into account that we're humans and we act out of emotion. We act out of the state we're in. We act out of the circumstances that are around going on around us sometimes. So, when you can learn how to understand, put yourself in the other person's shoes and think they might be going through some stuff that you don't know about too. And say, hey, you know what? Instead of me getting mad and creating the scenario that's going to cause more drama or more anger or more frustration, I'm going to take some deep breaths, relax, and I'm going to try to respond with peace, love, and grace. So, yeah. So I think it's a good thing to become more aware and sometimes take a deep breath or two, or kind of take a moment before you react and maybe respond instead.